What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 87 of the Rise to Glory here with Gibraltar Apex. And today I have for you guys the opening Champions League group stage game against Manchester City. And yes, it is going to be away from home. A massive game for us really to start off this group stage. Perhaps the toughest game we will have. Just a quick recap if you didn't watch till the end of last episode. In our group, we are accompanied by Manchester City, Barcelona and Inter Milan. Definitely could be an easier group, I think it's fair to say. Looking at the stats here, you can see a few of our players actually on the Champions League player stats based off their performances to qualify for the competition. So that's pretty cool, especially the average ratings and the fact that is dominated by a few of our players. Either way, since the last episode, just one game to tell you guys about. It was in the Pepe Reyes Cup as we beat Gibraltar Lions 4-0. Helmes, Jair and Oakley getting the goals. Jair scoring 2. And in fact, this guy, he might not have been with us. Not that he was going to die or anything. That's how I've just made that sound. He almost left. He nearly got a transfer to Dynamo Kiev. They came in and they bid £7.5 million for him. And I didn't want to say no. And so I let that deal go through. Now, unfortunately for us, or rather, fortunately, I guess, because he is still with us, the transfer didn't go through, and that was due to the fact that the paperwork couldn't be completed in time. It was a bit like the De Gea situation in real life all over again. If we just look at City's transfer history, you can see they bought Kiev's player here for £24 million, Ngom, who's this Senegalese centre mid. As a result, Kiev had a load of money to suddenly spend, and well, it looked like for a large part of this, they were going to be spending it on Jair. Unfortunately, however, that deal never materialised. Or rather, it did materialise, but it couldn't get done in time. So as a result, we still have Jair, which, you know what, I'm a little bit sad about, because I would have liked £7.5 million. But at the same time, he's a very good player for us, and he will be starting today against Manchester City. So anyway, we are playing Manchester City today. It's not been long since the last episode, just that one game as I mentioned to tell you guys about, and you may be able to tell by my throat, still not feeling at my best. So I'm sat here with a mug of water to lubricate my throat should the opportunity and should I need it, I guess, because really my throat just seems to stop working at random times, and I'm not going to be able to get too excited. I feel like I'm not going to be able to shout too much during this game, but hopefully we can get a good performance here. If we just have a quick look at our team for today's game, in goal we go with Young. In the midfield, we go with Almeida, Valverde, Bouchard and Cafe. No idea why we're doing the midfield first. I'm mixing things up today. Up front, we go with Jet and Oakley. Nothing too odd there. And in the defence, as I mentioned, Young. And then alongside in the four defenders, Marriott, Del Sol, Helmes and Freire. Worth noting, Danny Evans finally back from his dislocated shoulder. The right back, perhaps our first choice right back really, when he's fit. Unfortunately been out with a dislocated shoulder. It is, however, worth noting he is now eligible, I believe, in fact I know he's eligible, to play for Gibraltar. So I'm hoping he might take up Gibraltarian nationality and play for the national team. That would be pretty cool if he did that. And yeah, just a good little bit of news there, I guess, to tell you guys about. Anyway, looking at our team, you can see it here. Lots of loanees coming in. In terms of injuries, Henderson out with a long-term injury, a strained knee ligaments for him. The Brazilian centre attacking mid and centre mid, a pretty useful player for us, so to not have him is a big miss. We are also without Paul Smith, who actually got injured on Australian international duty, out for around about 2 weeks. So a little bit of a shame there. Perhaps back a little bit sooner, but out with strained stomach muscles. Those are the two big injuries, really. You can see a few players not registered, but that's purely down to the registration rules here in Europe. In terms of the team, I've already gone through it. We are going to be playing the 4-4-2 counter. We are taking on Manchester City away from home, and I do believe this is the first ever time we are going to be taking on Manchester City. If we just have a quick look at their team, their key player is Will Milton. This guy, an absolutely insane winger out on the right-hand side. Certainly a player we are going to have to be wary of. If we just have a look at the rest of their squad real quick, and a few of their bigger players, you'll get kind of a general idea, I guess, of just how good they are. So yeah, if we look at value here, the value column doesn't want to sort properly. Of course it doesn't. There we go. So they've got Greenwood here, who's a pretty good English striker in the air. They've also got Ferrati. We're getting to that stage now in this save where, for the most part, you're going to be seeing mainly regens at clubs. Ferrati here, one of the odd exceptions, the young Albanian at the start of saves, has established himself pretty well in this save, I feel like it's fair to say. Also cool to see Lewis Cook representing England and also playing for Manchester City in this save. The 29-year-old, of course, starts at Leeds in real life and is a very good player, and it's kind of interesting to see him make it big, really, at Man City. Anyway, that's a few of their bigger players in their team. We'll have a look at one more. Why not? Vloet. here, the Dutch player. That's probably not how you say his name, Vloet, but it sounds beautiful. It sounds almost poetic. This guy, a pretty good centre-back and a player we are going to have to be wary of. Either way, let's get our team selection submitted for today's game. Taking on Manchester City, away from home. I kind of said going into this group stage before the draw, the main aim has got to be to try and finish top 3 and get a knockout spot in the Europa League if possible. Of course, last year we reached the knockout stages of the Champions League. Granted, we had some kind results go our way. I also feel like it's worth noting, despite the fact that we were playing in a group with, if I remember correctly, Real Madrid, Benfica and Bayern Munich, I kind of feel like this group this year is a little bit harder now. I might be wrong, it's probably on par if I'm being honest, but regardless, it's going to be pretty tricky and we are going to have to defend well here. City on the attack early on as well. Jose Gaya, back to Lewis Cook, Ngom, that player who we mentioned who they signed from Dynamo Kiev, involved Greenwood. Now with Ferreira. Now with Lewis Cook. They're probing at the edge of the box here. Now with Chapetta. Nice tackle. Now can we counter? No, we can't. Ngom wins the ball back. Going to pull it into the box as well. Can the keeper make a save? Questionable defending right there. Milton to Greenwood. And it's the two English players linking up. And well, we knew what to expect going into this game. We knew these guys were going to be a threat. And they've proven that right there. They make it 1-0 here. City off to a good start. We've really not been able to get a foothold in this game. Struggled for any early meaningful possession and we've been on the back foot and well, they've made that dominance count early on. Greenwood leaping like a salmon, a very good player in the air. Of course, we did have a look at his profile. We knew what to expect from him and he has scored right there and it was an assist by a somewhat predictable player, I guess, in Milton. Either way, we're going to stick on the counter, I think, for now. Maybe if we go 2-0 down or if this really doesn't work, we might try and play the 4-4-2 attack. And in fact, I feel like we should play the 4-4-2 attack. Although we do have a set piece at the edge of the box here. Can we make something happen? Marriott whips it in. Cafe hits the woodwork. Oakley with the shot. And the keeper somehow makes a save from off the ground. I'm going to switch to the 4-4-2 attack. We're going to see what we can do here. Corner whipped in. Cleared away, but that was a half chance for us, an opportunity. Perhaps should have taken it as well. Particularly the rebound, Oakley smashing it against the keeper who was on the ground from the previous save. Had the entire goal at his mercy and now, well, we might live to regret it. City bringing the ball forward, although we do win it here and we have some pacey players going forward and we're going to look to hit them on the break. Although, we're defending like that, I mean, we're going to struggle in this game. Shocking defending. Greenwood went through. Nice save in the end by Young in goal, the Swedish international in goal for us. A bit of a let-off there, really. And it does look like at half-time, it's quite likely going to be 1-0 City, which is not the worst performance in the world. Certainly since we've changed to attacking, we've perhaps had a few more opportunities. But at 1-0 down, you know, we're not out of this game yet. We're not being completely outclassed, which is pretty good, especially away from home against Manchester City. They are the number 1 seeds in this group. Barcelona, of course, in our group too. However, they've struggled a little bit in this save, so they could be quite beatable, I feel like. Either way here, 25 minutes left, and we do have a set-piece. Ball whipped in. Helmez hits the side netting. It was a narrow angle, but it was a clear-cut chance, and actually, it was our third clear-cut chance of the game compared to City's 0, and yet we still find ourselves a goal down in this game with 20 minutes left. Going to make some changes anyway. Freire struggling a little bit and booked. We're going to bring in Danny Evans at right back. I think we're also going to bring in JJ for Valdeverde, who of course is on loan from Manchester City. And I think Jer been a little bit underwhelming today. I'm going to bring on Daniele Russo with our last substitution there. So all 3 used at once, 15 minutes left. Danny Evans on off the bench with the throw in there. A little bit disappointing. And now Sharpie going to try and hit us on the break. It's probably Sharp. I'm calling him Sharpie. I have no idea why. Either way, he hits the woodwork. A bit of a let-off there. And Vloet committing the foul. Gets a booking, but prevents us breaking away. And well, with 10 minutes left, we are still in this game. It's still competitive. We've had a few chances. However, time really now is ticking away. It is against us. Unfortunately, it's looking like this is going to be a 1-0 defeat. However, really, that's not a disappointing result and definitely something we can build upon. A decent performance there, especially away from home against the number 1 seeded team in the group. Inter beating Barcelona as well. Perhaps a little bit of a shock there. But yeah, not a bad first performance, I don't think. We went toe-to-toe against Manchester City for a large part of that game, particularly after we switched to attacking, which is pretty nice. Either way, guys, in terms of when we'll be back for the next episode, I think the next game we will do is against Barcelona. Normally, might do the Inter one, but with my voice as it is right now, I don't want to have to stop recording videos in order to wait for my voice to come back. So instead, I'm going to do slightly less frequent episodes than perhaps I'd like. But this will allow me to keep playing despite the fact I am ill at the moment. If you don't know, and you probably don't because I do record these videos in advance, I've actually been sick for about a week. And I've put off doing videos throughout that time, and it's kind of got to 4 days of being ill. And I can't sit and not do videos anymore because I need to keep the backlog going. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, smash the like button. I know I sound like an idiot. I know I sound weird. My nose is completely blocked. But it's worth it. I mean, it's not worth it when we lose 1-0, but it could be worth it if we can beat Barcelona at home. Hopefully, I'll see you guys for that next game. Decent result, really, against Manchester City. Something to build upon. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.